True Classic went from 0 to 250 million in annual revenue by breaking almost every traditional marketing rule. They did 20,000 in their first month, and by the end of their first year, they had done $16 million in sales. And in their next year, they jumped up to 90 million. So most founders think they just got lucky with their creative setup, but the reality is a highly structured, hyper-aggressive funnel architecture that 99% of brands are missing. So I've reverse engineered their entire 2026 setup from their highest converting meta ad headlines to their backend offer scaling. And in the next few minutes, I'm gonna give you the exact blueprint so you can steal it for your own brand. Let's go. So this is our own system that we look a lot at brands. So we focus on their inbound, outbound, and what they do for retention. Now, obviously True Classic is a giant and a juggernaut in the space. So they're doing everything here. And so if we cover all of this, it would take a long time. I make a ton more content on this. It's on my channel. You can check it out. But for the sake of this video, we're going to look at their main levers. And that would be their funnels, their marketplaces, their paid ads, their revenue architecture, and their offers. So we'll dive into that. We'll go one by one and then break down the lessons that you can take for your brand. So getting right into it, True Classic nowadays has a ton of different products. They have long sleeves, they have short sleeves, they have women's products, they have polos, they have stuff for kids. And we'll just look at their flagship product, which is their Classic Crew. It's what they started with. It's their main bestseller, as you can see here. And it's the thing they run sales on most often. They have a lot of cool different offers. And so fundamentally, True Classic's products are very good. They're wonderful shirts. They feel soft, they look good. And so you do need that, right? If you have a bad product, you're not going to scale well. And that's why a lot of drop shippers struggle. And so I want to focus on their unit prices because this is really interesting and tells a lot about why they're able to scale so much. And so if you look, this is them not on sale. We have one below where they are on sale, but they are selling one shirt for $35, which is, a lot, but it's okay. But suddenly, as you go to their second tier, 3 shirts for $70. And so essentially you get 3 shirts for twice the price. And so that is so much value. And the price per unit jumps down by a whole $11, right? And you're saying save $34. You can already see how aggressive their discounting is on bulk orders. But this is all strategy. This is all highly calculated to push people to higher order values to get them to buy more. And really, at the second tier that they have of 4 tiers, the average order value is already $70, which for most brand owners is insane margins and insane AOV, and that's what you want. And this is just their second tier. At their third tier, 6 shirts for $120. You're saving $89. The price per unit doesn't go down by that much. It's about $4. But if you think about how much someone is saving, also, not too bad, right? It jumps up, you save $50 more. And so this price discrepancy between what you save is the main operator for why people get pushed to this amount. And one note, if you open up the True Classic website, you start on the 6-pack. And so you start with this great value deal, but there's the best deal on the left. Now you can finally get 10 shirts for $160. And look at this, you get 4 more shirts for basically $40 more. And suddenly what you're saving jumps into the triple digits, but not even that, it's almost $200. The unit price decreases by so much, but True Classic doesn't really care because if you're buying 10 shirts, you're going to be a fan of their brand and their AOV is suddenly so much higher because you just spent $160 with them. And so it is really the best deal, but True Classic just use bundles to such a high level of expertise. I think a lot of brands don't do. They maybe have like, hey, you can get 20% off on every other order you get, but True Classic has nailed the bundling because they push you to this highest tier so they make the most per customer while at the same time you feel like you get the best deal. And this is just the starters because True Classic is known for often running a 20% or even a 50% discount. We're just going to look at the 20%. This is just a few days later they started running this, but the unit margins go crazy. Earlier, we'll just drag this down. Earlier, we were looking at 1 shirt for $35. Now it's $28. 3 for $70. Now it's $56. You're saving $34. It's still kind of the same amount, but the price per unit is a lot less. 6 for $96. And suddenly you're saving triple digits. So 16 per shirt. And then 10 for $120. You save $220. $12 each, which they highlight very clearly here, which, as you're flipping through, as you go from 6 to 3 to singles, and you see the price per item, the value part of people's brains are going, if I buy the 10 pack, I'm paying $12 per shirt and I'm saving way more money. It's highlighted here in red, and it's only $30 more than buying 6 shirts. But for $30, I get 4 more shirts. And if every shirt is worth $28, suddenly at the top end, I'm saving, let me do the math. Essentially, I'm getting 4 shirts for the price of 1. And so this value is so great. One other thing is they do free shipping over $120. And so automatically the customer is incentivized to buy the 6 or the 10 amounts, especially if there's a sale. They're like, I get free shipping, I save almost $250, $12 per shirt. It's such a good deal. Their free shipping discount is also bundled into their unit cost. It's really smart and it pushes people to buy more. And even though, they're massively discounting their products and there's a whole thing about this, True Classic has identified and rolled themselves in with the value-oriented customer. They think, I want a good deal, which they're getting. I want a good product, which they're getting, and reputable company, which they're also getting. And so they're getting a lot of good products, which they want, for a great price, which is amazing. And so True Classic's offer is set up to scale their business because it's a win for their customers, and it's a win for the brand. Because every customer, if they're getting $120 per customer and they're maybe paying $10 to acquire them, per shirt to manufacture is probably $1 to $3. So let's just go, they're spending $40-ish to acquire a new customer. They're profiting $80 that they can then turn around and get a new customer. And so that's exactly what they do as we jump into their ad section. Just as a really high level, I just want to break down the strategy they're using. And so if you don't know Meta, if you haven't worked with this before, there's kind of this funnel from cold audiences who have never heard of you, they don't know anything about you, to warm audiences, they maybe follow you, they've not signed up or anything, or they've not bought anything from you, to really hot audiences. And so these are people that have bought from you or are actively in your funnel. And True Classic does all of this. They have at the moment 1,100 ads that are running across all countries, and 480 of them are running in the United States alone, which is crazy. And so they are targeting every single part of the funnel in both low ticket and high ticket. I define these low ticket products are anything less than $100 and high ticket is anything above $100. This varies per industry. If you're selling jewelry or if you're selling luxury bags, you are very much high ticket and your price point may be in the hundreds or the thousands or the tens of thousands. If you're low ticket, you're typically under $100. And so what they're running here on their cold audiences, again, never heard of them, is they're running conversion campaigns. So we want to get them to commit with this really good offer. We demonstrate value and we trigger curiosity. We'll jump to their ad creatives, but it's full of these little hooks and these little questions that make the user go like, hey, if I have this, will I also look the same way? Will I also look good? And they do have some high ticket stuff, right? They have the bundle offers, but it's mostly low ticket. For your warm audiences, again, we're running conversion campaigns. We want to show how reputable of a brand we are. We want to say that we're overcoming hesitation. We're saying buy now and you'll get an offer. We're hitting social proof. And finally, once someone is in our funnel, if they've clicked our ads before, we're either running high time sensitive events through retargeting. So we're creating FOMO. We're saying like, hey, this offer ends tonight. We have 20% off for the next 3 days. Move, get it now, because we're not going to have anything quite like this. We're hitting them with uniqueness and our product benefits. This is just the strategy for Meta ads. As you scale, you'll retarget them on different platforms. Think TikTok, think Google, think YouTube. And so we can really hit them in different places to create this omni-channel. And so our goal here is to bring the right people into the funnel with highly native, entertaining, value-driven content, and then retarget them through channels. And so that's exactly what True Classic is doing. But to actually look at their ad formats, and as I promised earlier, I'm going to give you their headlines, their descriptions that they're running. So there are 2 sort of categories that they're running. They don't do a lot of carousel ads, which is interesting. They're mainly running video and image ads. And so there's a very clear 3 customer avatars that they're running ads for their videos. So they're looking at body shapes, people who are a little self-conscious. Really in this, they're highlighting the benefits. They're showing people shirtless, what they look like before, and then what they look like after wearing the shirt, right? And so just There's this guy, he's like, will I look good wearing True Classic? This one was someone really skinny. He was wearing a different shirt and then he put on a True Classic, suddenly looked way more in shape. And so this was probably like 60% of all the ads they're running are these targeting people who are a little self-conscious with their body shape. And they do a great job of this. And they don't shame people. They're just saying like, hey, you know, I put this on and I get so much confidence. Or I put this on, it makes my arms look big, it hugs my chest, it makes my shoulders pop, I look really good in this. And so this is the first of their customer avatar that they're building videos around. Their second is this person who is looking to impress, whether it's their boss or their significant other. And so this is often testimonials or UGC where people are assembling like date night outfits, or it's women, you know, talking to men like, hey, if I wear this, you're going to get lucky, or, you know, like, I want to hug him all the time. He now looks so sexy, whatever he does. And so this is sent to men, because if a male sees this and they're like, oh, hey, you know, this female who looks pretty is so impressed by this person wearing this shirt. Hey, if I get this, I'll look way better to my female friends or to my love interest. And so this is probably, I would say like 25% of all the video ads they're running are this sort of category of stuff. And it taps on this emotional need for their customer. This emotional need of wanting to look good, wanting to impress. And finally, about 15 to 20% of what their ads are is for women. And this is not for their True Classic women brand. This is True Classic men. And it's to say, hey, you know, I bought my boyfriend this, he looks so much better. Or like, hey, we're going shopping today. Or if your man looks baggy in his clothes before and after, right? And so they're really highlighting UGC from other women in order to demonstrate social proof to other women. So then their viewers will go like, hey, you know, this other girl or this other woman or this other wife bought their man this shirt. He looks so much better. If I buy my guy a shirt, they'll look so much better and I'll probably be more attracted to him. He'll probably feel great about it. It's a win-win. And then, so they go and purchase. And so these are the main three customer avatars that True Classic is really going for. And I think it's brilliant. I think it hits every single main avatar they could be going. It hits different emotional angles and is great. And so for your brand, think about who would buy your stuff, right? Is there a main benefit that you're trying to sell? Is it for women that they want to look really, really good with these beautiful earrings? And then think about like, well, what are other demographics that would want to buy this? You know, for these earrings or these rings, maybe it's not just women buying, but also men who are buying for their significant other. And then from there, you can try to work backwards and say like, hey, well, maybe I'll have other UGC of men talking to men or women talking to women, or, you know, women talking to men of like, wow, my boyfriend bought this. He's so smart. He's so caring. He did such a good job of this because I love what I'm wearing now. And so think about a little bit your avatars and how you can put together something brilliant so that when they watch your ad, they'll be so convinced to click because they see the benefits of your product. True Classic absolutely nails their avatars and they nail the emotional desires and benefits to tap on in order to get those customers to look and then buy. Hey, really quick, if you're watching this and you're like, oh my gosh, I don't have the time or the bandwidth to build out this exact funnel that True Classic has, that's exactly what we do. So my name's Nathan, and at HOSHINO Media, we build high-scale systems for e-com founders, brands, and creators who are looking to grow like crazy. And so if that's interesting to you, and if you want us to do all the heavy lifting for you, you can click the link below, book a call with me or my team. So going from here, let's look at their actual image content. And so while their videos were mostly for their customer avatars, their images, I believe, are doing most of the retargeting because it's mostly sale oriented. It's mostly direct response. It's our flash deals are ending soon. Pick 6, save big, made for spring, right? So these are top of funnel and also bottom of funnel. And so I haven't organized these great, but these are the top of funnel where it's showing like, hey, these are our new products. And the bottom of funnel stuff really goes aggressively at that sale. Again, this is the time-sensitive retargeting campaigns where we're really showing a good deal. And so for you, if you're running ads, you want to have some statics at your top of funnel showing lifestyle imagery or showing the benefits that really make you you, like gym shirts without the premium price is top of funnel. And finally, you run something that's save big, flash deal, you know, big savings, and that's your bottom of funnel. Now, if you're wondering, like, I don't know how to make ads or I don't know what ads will work, I love this platform. It's called Motion. I'm not sponsored by them. I just love them. And so you can look at every single ad your competitor is running. You can see what they're doing, what their media mix is, and how long each ad has been running. The longer the ad has been running, the more likely it is it's being profitable. Tip, step 1, use motion to find winning ad platforms. Don't reinvent them, just recreate them. Take their hook, offer, angle, format, their call to action, and then build your version for your avatars and your personas. And so this is just a quick flow of what it would look like, and then you would just take them, repurpose it for your ads, and then run those. Just as a descriptor for what True Classic is running, here's their most common headlines, here's their descriptions, and here is their primary text. If you want it, you can grab a screenshot. I'm not going to read it off because it's going to take forever. Here's the next step, and we'll look at their funnels and their storefronts. So obviously they're selling on Amazon. They took a long time to decide about this because they're like, are we going to cannibalize our own store? Turns out they're not. They're getting a ton of traffic on Amazon, and they're essentially running the same price points that you can see earlier on our site. Now, the problem with Amazon or with Etsy or selling on those platforms is that you don't own the customer data. If someone buys from your Shopify, you get everything. You get their customer data, you get their email, their phone number, their shipping address. Amazon, you don't really get that because through the Fulfilled by Amazon FFA, they do most of their heavy lifting. But for the sake of this, they're getting so much traffic, it doesn't matter. They have 21,000 reviews for social proof, and they're just running Amazon ads like crazy in order to get people to go here to win the buy box, which is this little thing here. Often there will be multiple sellers for an item, and if you pay more, you'll win the buy box, but that means they'll click your product, they'll buy your thing, and you'll get more money than your competitors. And so Amazon's a different platform, very competitive, very interesting. Because I used to sell on Amazon, it was kind of a fiasco. The second platform they're using are retailers, and they're selling in these really big retailers like Target, Costco, Kohl's, Sam's Club, and obviously their own site. Most of these stores align with their own personal values of a lot of value to the customer. Costco, Sam's Club are known for being value to the customer, you buy in bulk. And so they've done a great job of aligning their brand into other retailers that have the same values as them to expose them to new audiences that also identify with their brand values. Now, finally, I want to talk about their Shopify, and they do such a great job. This is the site you go to. They change this hero image all the time, so you may see something different. But if you scroll down, this is the same product page that we saw all the way back earlier, but it's on their main landing page. They know most people are here to buy their Classic Crew, and so they have the product page directly on their sites. And so let me just see if I can show you this really quick. But so they're running Father's Day right now. They're having shop all. If you scroll down, wow, True Classic Crew Necks. It's right here. This is their main landing page. This is trueclassictees.com, but they know their customer is here for this, and so they directly add this product page here. And I think this is brilliant because what you're essentially doing is removing a step of friction. For every click, you lose about 30% of revenue, or your customer will just drop off. And so it's a diminishing amount. They decided hey, we're just going to skip this. We're just going to have our product page for our main flagship product, our main SKU on the full landing page. And so people want it, can buy it right here. The cool thing is, you can flip through. So if you're like, I actually want this Classic Curve tee instead of the Classic Crew, you can kind of click through. And then they have their standard about us, stay in the know, sign up for our emails, why True Classic. Other things to highlight on their site, they're running a ton of deals at once. They're doing flash deals. When we looked at their site earlier, they're running the Father's Day sale, new rib tank undershirt shop now, flash deals, we made too much, which is their clearance sale, but it's a different way of saying clearance, and then their offers. And so, the customer is bombarded by different offers from True Classic. Flash deals, we made too much. This new rib undershirt, premium apparel, their 10-pack for $200 off, and their free shipping deal for over $120. And so the customer is bombarded by offers. They get 6 offers in their face right away. You might argue that's too many, but I would actually argue that True Classic is doing it. They're doing $600 in revenue. They're doing $600 million in revenue. So chances are they've probably tested a lot of this stuff. For you, in your brand, if you're running stuff in your site, if you're running offers, the trick is to not have just one offer or 2 offers. You don't want to just have a 20% off and then you get free shipping if you have over 75 worth of product. You want to be running multiple offers because you never know which offer will fully attract your customer to buy. Maybe it's your bulk discount. Maybe it's the free shipping. Maybe it's your new products. Maybe it's your clearance, but you don't know. And so I would have all of these here. I would have all of these, just test them out, run them and see what performs best. And that'll help you scale a lot. Some other things that I just want to cover that aren't on their product page, they're promoting community events. So for firefighters, for heroes, their brand, and they have this dedicated community section for veterans, heroes, referrals, stuff like that. I think the referrals is you give 10 and you get 10. So if you send someone and they buy it, they get $10 and then you get $10. Not a lot, but if you think about how much it costs for True Classic to get a new customer from their ads, to spend $20 to get a new customer, to get 2 customers, really, not a bad deal. And finally, I want to talk about their revenue architecture. And so if you've not heard of revenue architecture, it's something I really believe in. It is emails and SMS, but done to such a personalized method where the customer feels seen and understood because you know what they're looking at. And so True Classic does this excellently. They pull exactly what the user is doing on their site. If you look at their site, they have a ton of pixels and under the hood data collection systems that track what you're doing and then send it to them. They mostly use Klaviyo, which is a great platform. I use it for my clients. Their average word per email, 68 words, not a lot, but they start with this really big hero image. You can see True Classic, share the good stuff, get more good stuff. How can we do better? So this is for their feedback survey. And then this is, hey, we're shipping your stuff. They send their emails 3 times a week, most commonly sending them on Thursdays at around 3 p.m. EST. And their emails are crazy, 65% open rate. Now, granted, this is across all their emails from their how can we improve to, where you're sending out your order. And they ran a test for these new email flows. They did 21,000 in new revenue. They added 391,000 subscribers. And then originally they had about 100 different Klaviyo flows. So very, very different. And what is happening, and this is what we do, is they roll everything into just a few dedicated flows. But in there's a lot of different logic. So it's like, if the customer is a woman and not a man, we'll send them this different thing with this different copy. And so this is how you kind of build into revenue architecture. You have a lot of different logic to show people different emails or different SMS so that it feels super personalized. You can obviously have, your default templated, here's our latest products, but that doesn't work so well. The more personalized you can be, the more they'll open, the more they'll click, the more they'll buy, so you'll just win more. What you want to have is not 100 different flows, but just 5 to 10 synthesized dynamic Klaviyo flows that have a lot of logic underneath that are very personalized. This is just one example of what a True Classic email looks like. So short, catchy headline. They have this affirming sub-headline. So, you've got great taste, or your perfect fit is just a click away. They have a CTA, a call to action, on every single one of their emails above the fold. And finally, a dynamic product block. And so this is just a cool Klaviyo system. It just shows like, hey, this is our best seller, or based on what you like, this is what we recommend, with another call to action. This is just a breakdown of one full email that they're running. Obviously, they're testing a lot of different things. This is their welcome email. But welcome to True Classic. Highlights right away. Perfect fit. Ultra comfort. Fair value. Benefit. Call to action. Get 20% cash back. These are all secret surveys. So if someone clicks activewear, it actually will send you more stuff on activewear. Same, if you're interested in new products and you click this, they will know and they'll say, okay, great. We'll send them more emails around new products. And so they are at every point doing revenue architecture. At every point, they're kind of logging all the bits and pieces of data they can get in order to get you to buy more. Customer favorites, very simple. Testimonial, what we're about, 150,000 5-star reviews. And finally, you can check us out on Apple Store or the Google Play Store. This is how True Classic does their revenue architecture. And so if you're building a brand, what you gotta know is that you need to be logging data at every point because it helps you personalize your emails, helps you get more clicks, it helps show the right things to the right people. Use this for their abandonment email. Make sure you're having everything super nice, super catchy. So really quick, I would just say to improve on this email, they're having customer favorites, but they're not really saying why they're favorites. I would have just slipped in more customer testimonials and saying like why these are their customer favorites. Just demonstrate more social proof. They have such good videos and content that it's such a wash that they didn't put it in here. And so what they can really do to improve these emails is just tell more brand story. All they have here is our mission has been to help the everyday guy look good and feel good, which is fine. But I would love to see them do it in a video or demonstrate value through content because they do such a good job from it. And so for your brand, you need to be running something like this if you really want to grow. You need to be having dynamic emails that log customer data that really go after the benefits and the call to action in order to build your audience to get more revenue on the back end to increase your customer LTV. So I know this is a lot for a walkthrough, and so I have the PDF fully available. You can click the link down below, fill out your information, and I'll get it to you. This has been the breakdown of True Classic's full funnel, from their quality products to their ads, to their landing pages and their funnels, to their revenue architecture. Obviously, they are doing all this and more, but these are the main drivers for your brand. And so for you, if you're running a brand, if you're trying to grow, make sure your offers are in check. Make sure you have great bundling. Make sure you're testing not 5 ads, but 10, 50, 100 at a time. Make sure you're having an offer at every single point. Make sure you're running conversion campaigns and have a dedicated storefront that goes to your SKU right away. Have revenue architecture that mines your customer data and shows them exactly what they're looking for, and you will grow. So go build your brand, make it excellent, and hopefully you will be the next True Classic of your era. And hey, if you want us to help you do all of this, you can click the link below, book a call with me and my team. Peace.